Hello, good day, students. Okay, today we are going to look into fraction. Okay, so basically, do you guys know what are fractions? Okay, maybe when you are eating a piece of cake. So when you are giving half of your cake to your sister or even your brother, that 1/2 of your cake that you are giving is actually a fraction. So now we are going to go into details on what a fraction. So I'll be showing you a slideshow on what are fractions, and as well as I will be teaching you guys um, on what are different kind of fractions that we have. Okay, so basically if you see here, okay, fractions and type of fractions. So what do you mean type of fractions? Okay, that we will be learning in a while. So before that, let's see what is a fraction. So as I mentioned to you guys just now, right? So we have talked about fraction and one whole piece of cake and giving half of the cake to your brother or sister. So which means that one, okay, out of one, when you divide the cake into two, so it becomes 1/2, and this is known as fraction. So basically this is what we call as fraction. So basically if you see here, what is fraction? Fraction is 1/4, 2/6, 3/8. So we can call anything as fraction, okay, as long as it has a per there, like 1/5, 1/5. Okay, that is what it means by fraction. Okay, so now let's move on to the second slide. Okay, let's move on to the third one. Numbers in this form are known as fraction, as I mentioned to you. Okay, fractions basically have two parts. What do you mean by two parts? Yes. Okay, let's take an example now, like just now, 1/2, right? So the number that is on top here is known as numerator. Okay, the known as numerator, and the number that is at the bottom is known as denominator. Okay, so you have to really know what is numerator and denominator, because when you are answering certain questions, okay, they will be asking you what is numerator and what is denominator. Okay, so now you guys are clear, right? So if it's a top one, okay, a number in the top, that will be numerator, and the number that below will be denominator. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so what is numerators? Numerators is actually the number of equal parts which has been taken out and or which has been left out. So now, as I mentioned to you just now, one whole piece of cake, when you are taking out one out of the two whole, like, you know, this cake, okay, this cake is divided into two parts, right? This is one whole cake. Okay, we are dividing it into two so that we can give 1/part of it to your sister or brother. So one out of the two parts cake, okay, this is what we call as the numerator, which means that we are removing the part that has to be taken out or left out. Okay, that is known as numerator. So denominator is the total part of it. Okay, okay. Why? Okay, when you have a fraction, your denominator can never be 0. Why is that? Why is that? Because when you see, when your denominator becomes 0, then the fraction will not be defined. Means you could not get any answers because numbers cannot be divided by 0. So that is the main reason. So basically, golden rule of maths is that any numbers, it cannot divide it by into 0 parts. Like if you have one whole cake, right? You cannot divide the cake into 0, right? Because 0 is nothing. So basically you are going to get an undefined number. Okay, so now we have already learned about what are fractions and what type of fractions, what are denominator, what are numerator. So now we are going to take a small quiz. Does the shaded region respond to the fraction displayed? So if you realize here, they have divided the first one, they have divided into half, correct? So it's 1 over 2. This one will be 2 has been shaded out of 1, 2, 3. And this one, out of 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 over 4 has been shaded. Okay? All right. But if you realize here, why is the answer wrong? But as you know, it has been divided into half, and the third one has been divided into 4. But why is it wrong? The answer is because if you realize question 1 and question 3, they did not divide it equally. So what question 2, they have divided that particular 1/4 of the circle perfectly into 3. But question 1 and question 3, if you realize, the shapes are not divided into equally. If you realize, can you see the third one? One is in a different shape, one is in a different shape, one is not equal, and the other one is very small. So even to this one has 3 points, and this one has only 2 points. So that is why the shaded region corresponding to the fraction displayed is not true for number 1 and number 3. Okay, so basically that is how you have to identify fraction. So when you are, you see, as I mentioned to you, you can divide it this way, means you divide it half like this, okay, because then it will be equal. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We have done, okay, all this we are done. Okay, so we have various types of fractions. Okay, the fractions which have their denominator as 10 or higher powers of 10 are known decimal fractions. Okay, like 9 over proper, okay, and then proper fractions are the fractions where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Means it's the bottom one is higher than the top one, like this, like 9 over 10 and 1 over 4. Okay, 9 over 10, 9 over 100, 9 over 1000, 9 over 10,000. The one that is on top, the 10, 100, 1000, and 10,000, all these are decimal fraction. And the one that 1 over 4, 2 over 3, and 1 over 2 are proper fraction. Improper fraction is very easy. So basically, you know, proper fraction, the denominator is bigger than the numerator. So if it's an improper fraction, the numerator will be higher than the denominator. So that is the one that makes it into an improper fraction. Okay, all right. So if it's 5 divided by 4, how are you going to do this? Yeah, if it's 1 divided by 4, you know that one part of it you are 4, you're taking out 1 over one part of it. But if it's 5 divided by 4, you have 4 chocolates. How are you going to give it to 5 of them? Okay, let's take this way. Okay, so basically when it's improper fraction, we might have a remainder. So how are you going to do a remainder? Like this. So basically you have to change it to proper fractions, where you have to do this way. When you divide 5, okay, 5 divided by 4, 1 times 4 is 4, so remainder 1. So this one, the quotient will be the first one, and then followed by the remainder, and then the divisor. So it will be 1 over 4. So that is how you have to change the improper fraction to proper fraction. Okay, so when this, okay, so basically, you know, this is an improper fraction, this is a proper fraction. But when there is actually a number in front, which is a whole number plus with a proper fraction, what do we call them? We call them as mixed numbers. Mixed numbers means it's together with a whole number and as well as a proper fraction. Okay, that is what it means by mixed numbers. So basically we have learned fractions. What are fractions? What are types of fractions? How to change improper fractions to mixed numbers. All right. So basically, that's all for today's class. So I will see you guys again for the next class. All right. So take care, guys.